Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Battles American Civil War with Bang and Dang. And once again, we are sticking with the 20-minute maybe episode, but can't do nothing when it's going to be only 20 minutes, but 5 battles.
What do you do?
When every single one of these battles are nothing burgers. We're getting, I think, the exciting time of the war is wound down there, pal. Nothing left for us.
Well, you still got a year and a half of battle, so.
Yeah, we have a year and a half of 20-minute episodes. Awesome for everybody involved.
Most people prefer 20-minute episodes.
Before that, though, head on over to our YouTube and give us a subscription. Even though right now, at the time of this episode's release, we are currently suspended from YouTube for banned for a week.
Yeah, for reading a Wikipedia article.
So, no, this episode will not be on, not be on YouTube when it debuts, but it will be there when we can post again. But, yeah, go over there, subscribe. Getting closer to that magic 300 or 500 number. We're already over 300. So, and then leave a like, review, and whatever else on the old podcast app if that's what you prefer listening on. We got 5 battles today. All of them little shorties. Battle of Buckland Mills, Cherokee Station, Pine Bluff, Browns Ferry, and Wauhatchie. Got a couple of Virginias. Got an Alabama. I haven't been there much. Arkansas we go back to. Tennessee. Look at that. Oh, no. Say 5 battles, 5 states. 5 battles, 4 states. Battle of Buckland Mills starting out October 19th, 1863. It, also known as the Buckland Races or Chestnut Hill, October 19th, 1863. Union cavalry led by Brigadier General Judson Kilpatrick were caught in a Confederate ambush and defeated. Near Buckland Mills on Broad Run, Confederate cavalry commander Major General Jeb Stuart with Major General Wade Hampton's cavalry division were covering General Robert E. Lee's retirement from his defeat at Bristow to the Rappahannock River. October 19th, they turned on Kilpatrick's pursuing cavalry of the Federals, while Major General Fitzhugh Lee's division charged the Federal flank. Kilpatrick was routed, fleeing 5 miles to Haymarket and Gainesville. The Confederates derisively called the affair the Buckland Races, although some Confederate commanders likened it to a fox hunt. The Confederate forces incurred 41 casualties. Unions lost about 261 men, most of which were taken prisoner.
Oh, of course.
And the old Civil War Trust and its partners have acquired and preserved 91 acres of the battlefield. All right. It's a pretty hefty battlefield preservation for nothing much going on there, huh?
But there's 14,000 troops between both armies there.
Which brings us to Battle of Cherokee Station, October 21st. Skipping a few days, 2 days ahead. It's going to be near the town of Cherokee Station, Alabama, on October 21st, between the old Union and Confederates, clearly.
All right. Well, we got General Sherman attempted to rebuild the Memphis and Charleston Railroad in order to make it easier for the Union forces to get Chattanooga and Missionary Ridge to prepare for an attack on old Atlanta, Georgia. They began rebuilding near Corinth, Mississippi, and pushed through northwest Alabama.
Yeah, we're about to get the pushed to the sea by this guy soon, right?
Right. Sherman began his push near Cane Creek on the 20th of October, winning a battle against the old Rebs. On the same day, skirmishes occurred at Barton's and Dixon stations, both Union victories. Later on the 20th of October, Sherman pushed eastwards towards Cherokee Station. On the evening of 20th of October, a skirmish occurred between the 5th Ohio Cavalry and a large troop of Confederate cavalry. 3rd United States Cavalry came up as support, but the 5th Cavalry finished off the Confederates on their very own. Very rare for cavalry to finish off Rebs.
Right.
The fifth lost a total of 3 men and 2 horses. Oh, them 2 horses are way more than those 3 men.
Right. October 21st, 8 o'clock in the morning, the 15th Corps moved up towards the location of the Confederates with its 1st Division leading. They encountered a large force of Confederate soldiers and opened fire. Musket fire was exchanged for an hour, and the Confederates sustained heavy losses. After the loss of a significant number of their men, the Confederates retreated. The division brought up several 20-pound Parrott rifles and inflicted several dozen more casualties.
Jeez.
Several Confederate soldiers were captured as well.
I bet.
All right.
Wow.
Look at these guys, huh?
That's crazy shit there. The old Rebs retreated from the field back to fortifications near Tuscumbia. Union forces sustained 35 casualties, while the Confederates suffered 300 to 400 casualties. Now, that's a lopsided victory.
Right.
There. Oh, my. That's Alabama versus Citadel. Lieutenant General Stephen Dill Lee, he used artillery and his men to delay the Union's assault on Tuscumbia and made occasional skirmishes with Union troops.
How many Lees do the freaking Confederates have?
The skirmish at Barton Station is an example of delaying the Union troops. However, 27th October, 4 days before old Halloween, Lee was forced to retreat from Tuscumbia after defeat at Little Bear Creek. Union troops went towards Georgia. Lee attempted a second assault on Cherokee Station, but repulsed by the 15th Corps. After this defeat, the old Rebs attempted to win at another skirmish at Barton Station. Due to the lack of supplies, old Lee was forced to withdraw from Alabama to northern Georgia.
Jeez.
However, Lee's resistance prevented the reconstruction of the Memphis and Charleston Railroad, which was the main goal by the Unions.
By the Confederates?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Union was trying to rebuild it.
Right. But their main goal was trying to make them not.
Right. Bragg commended Lee. That's old Bragg.
He's like, I commend you.
Commended Lee for his actions in delaying Union forces and preventing the construction of the Memphis and Charleston Railroad. He was like, you may be the best Lee right now in the Confederate.
Right, well, all right. That's that battle. I guess if you can call it a battle. Moving on to the Battle of Pine Bluff, moving to Arkansas. We haven't been here in a while. Not exactly, but 159 years ago on October 25th, this one's taking place in Jefferson County. The post of Pine Bluff of the United States garrison, commanded by, don't need to go there. After the capture of Little Rock on September 10th, 1863, Union forces occupied several towns along the Arkansas. I guess in the river. Confederate Brigadier General John Marmaduke, commanding a cavalry division, decided to test their strength at Pine Bluff. Sunday, October 25th, Marmaduke attacked the post of Pine Bluff, a U.S. garrison commanded by Colonel Powell Clayton of the 5th Kansas Cavalry.
Pow!
8 a.m., Marmaduke's 2,000 Confederate cavalry approached Pine Bluff from three sides. 550 cavalrymen and the federal cavalrymen and Missouri militia, supported by 300 freedmen, barricaded the courthouse square with cotton bales and positioned the cannon to command the adjacent streets.
Oh, shit.
Marmaduke's division made several attacks upon the square, then attempted to set the county courthouse on fire.
Oh, man.
They were unsuccessful and withdrew to Princeton, Arkansas.
Oh.
And there's that battle.
That's fantastic. Nice little battle to get done with, right?
Sure.
Moving on, Battle of Browns Ferry. Battle of Browns Ferry was an engagement which took place October 27th, 1863, Hamilton County, Tennessee. During this very battle, following the defeat at Battle of Chickamauga. Following the defeat at the Battle of Chickamauga, the Union Army of Cumberland was trapped in Chattanooga by the Confederate Army of Tennessee under Braxton Bragg. Lacking the strength to capture the city by direct assault, Bragg settled into a siege, intending to starve the Union forces into surrender or retreat.
Look at that. Has the Confederates won a siege yet?
Maybe.
I don't think they have.
Oh, maybe. To do so, he sent the brigade of Evander Law to a point on the Tennessee River, downstream from Chattanooga. He's ordered to fire upon any Union wagon train which passed along the opposite shore. Law spread the 4th and 15th Alabama Infantry regiments along a 5-mile front, keeping the other 3 regiments of his brigade in reserve. When the Union Army began using other routes to supply Chattanooga, Law's Corps commander, look at James Street. James Street
is long.
James Longstreet ordered 3 regiments to be pulled back to Lookout Mountain. Then Lookout Mountain's a little popular. Leaving 2 regiments along the river, with Colonel William C. Oates of the 15th Alabama in command.
All right, well, Union Commander William Rosecrans wired Abraham Lincoln saying, "We have no certainty of holding our position here."
Yeah, I can't do it.
Lincoln responded by sending reinforcements from the Army of the Potomac and Army of the Tennessee, with the overall command of the force under Ulysses S. Grant, recently promoted to command of the military division of the Mississippi. October 26, Grant initiated operations to open a supply route from Browns Ferry to Chattanooga. The plan was conceived and to be executed by Grant's chief engineer, Brigadier General William F. Baldy Smith. Hardtack, an Army food staple and disgusting, was usually despised by the men who were forced to eat it on a constant basis. However, with food running low, the soldiers began to cry out even for the hardtack crackers.
Oh, give me that hardtack.
Come on, man, give me some hardtack.
Oh, wow.
Thus, the proposed supply line was dubbed the Cracker Line.
The cracker line.
Cracker Line.
All right. Well, Baldy Smith was assigned 2 brigades under Brigadier Generals William B. Hazen and John B. Turchin, as well as Engineer Brigade under Colonel Timothy Robin Stanley. Turchin's men would march overland across the bend in the Tennessee River, known as the Moccasin Point, and they would hold east at the east bank
Is it
at
named
Browns Ferry.
moccasins for snakes or shoes?
Could be snakes. Hazen's men had the more hazardous task, organized in 50 squads of 21 men each, 20 soldiers and 1 officer. Hazen's men would ferry down the river in pontoon boats, manned by Stanley's men. A 3rd column under Major General Joseph Hooker, it would advance from Bridgeport, Alabama, to relief of Hazen's men, if necessary.
All right, 3 a.m., Hazen's men boarded the pontoons and quietly rowed around Moccasin Point past the Lookout Mountain pickets. Using the river's current for swift movement and early morning fog helped cover their movements. Good for you guys. Now you guys starting to learn to use the fog instead of going directly into it like morons. The landing was to be made at a ferry landing and another gorge downriver. On the morning of October 27th, there was 1 company guarding the ferry itself, with 5 companies nearby in reserve. Hazen's men reached the landing points at 5 a.m. amidst relative silence, though some Federal soldiers had broken silence when they were fired upon early on.
Oh, sure.
Well, they didn't break the silence.
Right.
Some of the storming parties slightly missed their objectives, but ultimately the landing points were gained, allowing the Union troops to come ashore, drive off the Confederate pickets, and immediately begin entrenching.
Oh, jeez.
Good for them.
Upon hearing the news of the landing, Oates immediately formed a counterattack, using 2 companies in a diversionary frontal attack and leading the other 3 in an attempt to cut off the Union force from the ferry. However, the 6th Indiana Infantry had just landed and was able to drive off those Rebs. During the fighting, Oates was taken out of action by a gunshot wound to the hip. At this time, his men started retreating. They're like, oh, shit. Simultaneously, Stanley's oarsmen...
I thought it said something different.
Stanley's oarsmen began to ferry Turchin's men across the river. Hazen and Turchin's combined forces now outflanked the old Rebs, who retreated to the south toward Wauhatchie.
Well, a lot of retreats in these...
Wauhatchie.
A lot of retreats in these first 4 battles so far. The Cracker Line haven't been opened. General Hazen joyfully exclaimed, "We've knocked the lid off the cracker box."
Uh-oh.
By mid-afternoon, October 27th, the pontoon bridge across the river was completed by the 1st Michigan Engineers.
Hey.
Hooker's Federal reinforcements were on their way towards Brown's Ferry. Fearing that this attack was merely a diversion while the real Union attack would come from the south, Longstreet failed to counterattack immediately. Under pressure from Bragg, Longstreet would launch an attack 2 days later in the Battle of Wauhatchie, but you'll see what happens right now, which is on the 28th through the 29th in Hamilton and Marion counties in Tennessee.
Tennessee. After the disastrous defeat at the Battle of Chickamauga, Federal forces under Major General William Rosecrans, they retreated to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I wonder what happened.
Confederate General Braxton Bragg's Army of Tennessee besieged the city, threatening to starve the Union forces into surrender. Bragg's troops occupied Missionary Ridge and Lookout Mountain, both of which had excellent views of the city, the river, and the Union supply lines. The old Rebs troops launched raids on all supply wagons heading towards Chattanooga, which made it necessary for the Union to find another way to feed their old hungry men. Major General old Ulysses S. Grant relieved Rosecrans of his command and replaced him with Major General George Thomas. Grant's first priority upon reaching Chattanooga was to resupply the Union Army.
Yep, which brought on the old Cracker Line operation, which we just talked about. And, okay, well, meanwhile, after the old after the Cracker Line operation in Brown's Ferry, meanwhile, Joseph Hooker, marched with 3 Union divisions from Bridgeport following the railroad via Shelmond and the Running Water Creek Gorge. October 28th, after a rapid march, Hooker's column entered Lookout Valley to the astonishment of Generals Braxton Bragg and James Longstreet, who were having a conference on Lookout Mountain. Oh, shit. Like, oh, shit. Longstreet, obsessed with the possibility of a Union attack further to the southwest, had failed to properly scout Hooker's advance.
Oh, come on, Longstreet.
He was obsessed with it. He was like, I know they're coming from the south.
Right.
Nope.
Wow. Hooker, while his force passed through Lookout Valley...
Hooker barely even knew her.
While his force passed through Lookout Valley on the 28th of October, he detached Brigadier General John Geary's division at Wauhatchie Station. He said, you stay here. A stop on the Nashville and Chattanooga Railroad to protect the line of communications to the southwest, as well as the road west to Kelly's Ferry. Once he reached this goal, Hooker's dispositions were deplorable, with Howard's understrength, the 11th Corps, hunkered down haphazardly at Brown's Ferry. Worse, Gary's division, only 1,500 strong, after detaching railroad guards, were posted in isolation.
Oh, no.
Why would you do that?
Bragg ordered Longstreet to drive away the new Union force. Noting that a wagon train had stopped near Wauhatchie, Longstreet determined to crush Gary's force as well. This dude just got like...
He's pissed.
And he ordered Brigadier General Micah Jenkins' division to mount a night attack on the Union forces, while Law took his own and Brigadier General Jerome Robertson's brigades to block Hooker from reinforcing Gary. Jenkins' own 1,800-man South Carolina brigade, led by Colonel John Bratton, would assault Wauhatchie Station. Law had Brigadier General Henry Benning's brigade remain in support for both Law's and Bratton's efforts. Although the attack was scheduled for 10 p.m. on the night of October 28th, confusion delayed it until midnight. Though Gary and his officers expected an attack and had thrown out pickets, its suddenness took them by surprise. Enveloped from the north by Bratton, the Union defenders formed a V-shaped battle line. Oh, shit, broke out the flying V.
Right.
Facing north and east, Gary's son, an artillery lieutenant, was killed in the battle.
That's their battle cry. Quack.
Dying
Quack.
in his father's arms.
Quack. Quack. Quack.
Wow.
That's the Union battle call.
Just overshadowed Gary and his son.
Dying
In his father's arms, dude.
Yeah.
If I was Gary, you better go for revenge there, buddy.
Ducks fly together, baby. Hearing the sounds of battle.
Ducks die together, baby.
Ducks die together. Yeah. We all stopped quacking at once. Hearing the sounds of battle, the 11th Corps quickly fell into the ranks near Brown's Ferry. Hooker bypassed Major General Oliver Howard in the chain of command and ordered Major General Carl Schurz to march to Wauhatchie Station as reinforcements. In the confusion, Brigadier General Adolph von Steinweier got his division on the road first. He's like, I'm going. Colonel Orlando Smith's brigade of Steinweier's division was fired on by Law's Confederates, who were positioned on a 200-foot hill that dominated the road from Brown's Ferry. Smith veered to the east and began climbing the hill. Meanwhile, Hooker mistakenly deployed units from both the 11th Corps divisions against Law and Benning, leaving no one to go to Geary's aid.
Oh, guy.
Though Law's 2,000 men were greatly outnumbered by Hooker's force, the hilltop position was naturally strong.
Clearly.
In the darkness, the only unit in direct contact with Law was Smith's 700-man brigade. Several vigorous assaults by Smith were repulsed. Then, after Law received some erroneous reports, he decided to pull back.
Damn, some fake reports, so he probably didn't even need to pull back. The Union got lucky on that.
Just as his men left their entrenchments, Smith's men spilled over them, capturing some stragglers and scattering the regiment that had failed to get the order to retreat. Meanwhile, Hooker agreed to let Howard proceed to Wauhatchie with some cavalry.
Gary's men continued to hold fast, though they began to run low on ammo. Just as Bratton began to sense victory, he received a note to retreat since Union reinforcements were arriving at his rear. Bratton withdrew to Lookout Mountain, successfully covered by Benning's brigade. In the Wauhatchie fight, Bratton lost 356 men, while Gary's casualties numbered 216.
Ooh, wow.
A rumor circulated through Union camps that Union mules stampeded by the fight had made the Confederates believe they were being attacked by cavalry, causing the Southern retreat. The Union soldiers joked that the mules must be breveted as horses.
Right.
Right. In truth, the Hampton Legion was disordered by the mules for only a short time. However, this law allowed the 137th New York to plug a gap in the Federal lines.
Sad.
Union losses in the battle, 78 killed, 327 wounded, and 15 missing. The Confederates reported their losses at 34 killed, 305 wounded, and 69 missing. One account says Bratton lost 408 men, while Law lost only 52. Don't know. Right. Gary reported burying 153 Confederates and capturing over 100 prisoners, so the Confederate losses may have been over 900. The Union Army now had its window to the outside and could receive supplies, weapons, ammo, and reinforcements via the Cracker Line. The way was clear for the start of the battles for Chattanooga, November 23rd.
Uh-oh.
Poor Chattanooga. Getting wrecked. They've already had 2 battles in Chattanooga.
Right.
Yep. There you go, guys. Barely.
Well, you got a couple of skirmishes there. All Union little skirmish victories there as well needed for their plan.
This will be about 18 minutes, guys. I mean, there's nothing we can do. We're not doing another battle. We can't have 100 battles in the same freaking episode. I don't know what to tell you. We'll be back next week, though, for the Battle of Bayou Borbo. The Battle of Collierville. Battle of Rogersville. And the Battle of Droop Mountain. Right, finally one.
Hey.
Oh, look at that. Droop Mountain is going to be our saving grace for the next episode, guys. Wow, that's a nice one. Yeah, okay, cool. So, Bayou Borbo, Collierville, Rogersville, and Droop Mountain.
I can probably afford to do another battle.
Right now?
Yeah.
You want to do one right now?
You might as well do Battle of Bayou Borbo.
I bet your Mechanic Station's decent, too. All right, yeah, I could talk me into it. We're going to go straight to Louisiana right now. And this
Gotta
one
get
out.
Confederate victory off for Union.
Right. We don't have to do any of that, but the Confederate run the first battle of Buckland Mills on this episode, by the way.
No, they didn't.
Right. Well, all right, we're doing the Battle of the Bayou Borbo. Also known as the Battle of Grand Coteau.
That's it, guys. All right, see you next week.
Battle of Boggy Creek or the Battle of Carrion Crow Bayou. Fought in Louisiana west of the town of Grand Coteau during the American Civil War, clearly. Union orders, under orders from Major General Richard Taylor, Greene launched the attack, who is Confederate General Greene. Launched it on the Union camp after receiving 3 infantry regiments on November 2nd, 1863. These regiments were led by Colonel Orrin M. Roberts.
Okay.
Lieutenant William Marland of the 2nd Massachusetts Battery earned the Congressional Medal of Honor for his actions during this battle.
Good for him.
The Federals reported casualties of 26 killed, 124 wounded, and 566 captured or missing. The Confederates admitted a loss of 22 killed and 103
Wow, dude.
wounded.
That's pretty even.
A big nothing there.
Yeah, but the old Union retreated, so.
Yeah, good for them. What the hell? What are we doing? We don't have no information on these guys' battles? I mean, geez.
How do you not?
What the hell? Well, I guess next week we'll have the Battle of Collierville, the Battle of Rogersville, and the Battle of Droop Mountain. A nice little threer. Maybe it'll be like 25, 30 minutes.
We got 2 A battles, though, coming up.
We do. Lookout Mountain and Missionary Ridge, which are, I believe, make up the Chattanoogas. Yep. Actually, both of them are nice, so we should have 2 or 3 nice episodes in a row here coming up for you guys about freaking time. With that, still, even though we're suspended from the old YouTube right now, go and give us a subscription at Bang Dang Network, and we'll be resuming. What is today? Wednesday. We won't have this episode when it debuts, but the next episode of... We can't post again until the Wednesday after this episode, so put it that way. But you can still subscribe and listen to our 350...
When does this episode go out?
Friday.
Oh, this Friday?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can still go back and listen to our 350 videos that are on whatever it is on the channel right now. Subscribe. And if you're listening on the old podcast app, or prefer to listen on the podcast app, give us a review and comment, and we shall be back.
Yeah, and go listen to the 600 episodes that's on that.
Oh, there's still a lot. Yeah, we'll be back next week for more battles of the American Civil War.
Big dang.